pregnant. I know it's my fault. I know I shouldn't let you take off the rubber. I thought we were okay. I was due for my period. My cycle's like clockwork.
Stop.
Cara Buono plays the character Kelli Moltisanti in seasons 6A and 6B of The Sopranos, while in Mad Men, she's Dr. Faye Miller, a consumer research consultant with a PhD working with Sterling Cooper Draper Pryce. When we first see Kelli in The Sopranos, other than being a woman in Christopher's apartment getting ready to go to the movies, we don't know anything about her. But we learn right away that she's pregnant, and she's very nervous. You can tell she's worried that Christopher's going to be angry with her, even though, as she mentions, he's the one who took the condom off. She gets the complete opposite reaction from what she expected when Chris told her they should go get married.
We believe that at the Motivational Research Group, we have brought the science of consumer evaluation to a point of precision like that of a surgeon's scalpel. No doubt with the help of minds like Dr. Faye Miller, with whose work you are already unknowingly familiar.
Kelli Moltisanti spoke on the phone. My husband, Christopher. How do you do?
This is what I'm talking about. Stately Wayne Manor.
4 bedrooms, marble baths with Kohler fixtures, Sub-Zero in the stainless steel kitchen.
We'll take it.
He's what we call an impulse buyer.
Sounds like a perfect customer in the Mad Men world. For Christopher, Kelli Moltisanti is safe. She's sweet, traditional, she doesn't know him from his other world, and she doesn't appear to care too much about his past. She knows he's in recovery, as he tells her that he goes to AA meetings and such. So to the extent that she knows he's had a troubled past, she feels comfortable that he's handling it, and she has no idea about what he does outside the home.
Cramping in my legs? It could be anything.
Well, then what'd you call me for?
Just to say hi.
But you're all right.
Yeah. I'll see you later. Bring me home a quattro formaggi. I don't care what time it is. Wake me up.
All right.
Mwah.
How you holding up?
I'm totally freaking... Oh, I gotta take the CD out. These questions have been designed to get at what subjects really want instead of what they say they do. What are the real feelings that exist below the surface? For example, how would you describe your father?
Right away, Faye triggers Dawn by handing out a questionnaire about feelings, and the question she uses as an example is, how is your relationship with your father? Just like how Tony would walk out of Dr. Melfi's office if something pushed past where he was comfortable going, Dawn did the same thing here. It's just that the question was written down. And I think that Faye's ability to read people and decode their underlying motivations scares Dawn, because he's worked so hard to hide who he really is in order to be the person that everyone thinks he is. Faye also has some of her own surface level defenses, so it's not necessarily that she's fully transparent. For example, she wears a wedding ring because she prefers for clients and colleagues and people she meets professionally to think of her as off the market so that they can actually focus on work with her rather than just trying to date or marry her. Funny enough, Faye does have an indirect connection to organized crime through her father, who owns a candy store.
Like...
Not my father, just his friend.
It sounds almost like Kelli Moltisanti's father, Al, who started working with Christopher even though he wasn't a part of organized crime.
I'm tired of running.
Don's tired of running, and once Christopher realized he couldn't run, or that he wasn't going to run, he figured he'd be safest with someone like Kelli. But once Don tells Faye the whole truth, he runs, because even if he didn't decide to come forward with the truth about his identity and deal with it publicly, he knows that Faye knows everything about him, the real him. And that's a very scary thing for a person who's used to having a leg up by keeping his guard up and avoiding sentimentality and having to really address any of his past trauma.
No matter what the answer, it creates a level of intimacy for the next question.
I'm sorry, I just don't see how knowing about my childhood is going to help sell floor wax.
I saw that ad. It's all about somebody's childhood.
There were times I was a kid. My friend Ronnie, we'd play on the floor of my kitchen. Linoleum, matchbox cars or whatever. He'd go home. His fucking knees would be filthy.
This takes me back to Christopher. I think Don could learn a lot from him here.
Mother made him stop coming over. It was so dirty.
It's fucked up.
Embarrassing. My kid, it'll be different. He'll be proud of his house.
But where she really sticks out is emotionally. Faye becomes one of the only people who pushes Don to confront the truth about himself, his past, his identity, and the things that he keeps running from. She isn't impressed and charmed immediately by the Don Draper persona. She wants the real person underneath it, which is what she addresses at the very beginning.
When I'm out of sorts, I look at the calendar. There's usually something significant on the horizon.
But in the world of mad men, there are sometimes mad girls. And this creates a little turbulence here.
Shut up.
What's gotten into you?
I don't think I'm helping here.
We don't want your help.
You shouldn't have put me in that position. I love children, but I chose to be where I am. And we can do the borders with the Disney characters. I don't view it as a failure.
In Korea, I was wounded. But this other man was killed and they mixed us up. I wanted them to.
She's got no idea who I am.
She doesn't understand you.
There are things you can do.
Every so often in Mad Men, someone asks one of the men what they actually do, like day to day, for work. And in some ways, it's a little bit like what the guys on The Sopranos do, minus the physical violence and the lack of official written contracts for much of the mob's work. But a lot of it is just dealing with people.
I shouldn't have told you. But I'm just so damn tired of all of it.
Hey. I'm glad you told me.
How does Don feel now that Dr. Faye knows the real Don?
Let's get something to eat.
I think I better be on my own tonight. Why don't we see each other tomorrow?
Okay.
Who's unhappy?
Faye compromised her professional integrity and confidentiality when getting a meeting for Don with Hines.
I thought about what you said. And I thought about you. And I thought about whatever you are in my life right now.
You didn't have to do this.
I wanted to.
What does Don do in return? Goes to California and gets engaged to Megan. Dr. Miller ends up resigning from consulting for Don Draper and Sterling Cooper Draper Pryce because of a conflict of interest regarding tobacco clients. But because she's no longer working for him, she and Don could date more openly. She thinks that's a fair trade.
Because we could do that now. It's a fair trade.
Well, not for long.
I met somebody. And we're engaged.
Well, I hope you're very happy.
Don and Megan got engaged almost as quickly as Christopher and Kelli did. In the end, both Kelli Moltisanti and Dr. Faye Miller are heartbroken, Christopher's dead, and Don is engaged. They'll both survive and be okay, but I guess the question is, are things going to just continue on in the status quo?
I used to love that house, but now it's so big. Especially at night.
Well, you're afraid, all you gotta do is call, right? 2 minutes, I'll be over.
I know.
With Christopher, there was the danger of Kelli not knowing enough. And on the flip side, with Don, for Dr. Faye, it was knowing too much that was dangerous. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about Cara Buono in the roles of Kelli Moltisanti and Dr. Faye Miller on The Sopranos and Mad Men.